So let's jump over to this other news item, and I will just I won't bother putting it up. We'll read it from. I'll just read it to you right here. We'll go through this relatively quickly. This is the article's title is "Racist Messages." Now, of course, translate heretical to anti-white messages on rocks, flyers. Shock Santa Cruzans as a propaganda uptick mirrors state combination. And this is by Köhne, someone by that name. I don't know if I said it with the proper pronunciation as in this anti-white woman's native tongue. But Köhne writes, white supremacist, now remember we were covering that earlier in the MPs, propaganda has been found on rocks and flyers around Santa Cruz County recently. The incidents, which have been discussed on social media and most recently in a Capitola City Council meeting last month, have prompted some to worry about their neighbors' stance on racial and social equity. Can you believe it? Yes, can you believe it? Neighbors, they have to wonder, there's this horrifying thing out in the world, right? But the propaganda found in Santa Cruz is just a drop in the bucket of the white supremacist. Okay, heretical to anti-whiteism, right? People are not anti-white, so therefore you call it white supremacy. Any white people who are not anti-white, Köhne is this lovely anti-white woman. And that's what's objectionable about this author, is that she's anti-white. But the propaganda found in Santa Cruz is just a drop in the bucket of white supremacist. Everybody, if you were here earlier, what does white supremacist mean? Messaging that has been found in California for years, according to data on hate groups. So if you are white and not anti-white, anti-whites will refer to you as a hate group. And it comes as a deeply divided county or country continues to grapple with a racial divide, only exacerbated by Donald Trump's presidency, one national expert says. Really, who are these experts? Anti-whites, of course. Well, they cite each other. Talk about incestuous. Still, in the wake of racist graffiti, I would talk about a third-rate typist. This Köhne is a third-rate typist. This is supposed to be some sort of journalism. This is pure vitriolic anti-whiteism, pure hatred of white people, of Western civilization, of any white person who isn't anti-white. This woman, Isabella Köhne, hates white people. Obviously. There's no room, if you're a white person, for caring about white well-being. Because if you're not anti-white, well, then you're a hater, you're a white supremacist, you are, what are the other ones that she's already used? The racist graffiti being found in Santa Cruz just this week. Rocks. Now get this. The racist graffiti. Now remember, this is what the actual people are going to be picking up. What do you think, and seeing, what do you think happens when a person, vague, one of our brothers and sisters walking down the street, comes across an actual disgusting, villainous flyer, and then they read racist graffiti? Well, they're going to agree. But when they come across this, and then they see Köhne, the anti-white, saying racist graffiti on rocks, what are they going to think? Bit of an IQ test if you didn't immediately put those together. I mean, I can only get it so close without doing it for you. Still, in the wake of racist graffiti being found in Santa Cruz just this week, rocks with the words, "No white guilt." Well, isn't that interesting? Painted on them, found countywide in recent weeks and months. All right, so let's just take a quick look at what the readers are going to be reading briefly here. they're going to read Querto, the third-rate typist, talentless typist, saying racist graffiti, and then the words no white guilt. How do you think your average white person is going to feel about the words no white guilt being defined by Querto as racist? They're going to think that Querto is garbage. They're going to side against Querto. Well, we want them to find us because we are love, hope, and redemption. Now, Querto then goes on to say, and a swastika turning up in Boulder Creek. So someplace else. Last summer, some residents can't help but be unnerved. So Querto knows she has a weak argument. The talentless typist, typing away, knows she has a very weak argument because she's trying to call no white guilt evil. And white people are going to say, whoa, 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 whoa. That means I have to have white guilt. If that's evil, then good is for me to have white guilt. Do you see how this works? Oh, God, tear the heavens open and tell them all. Part the seas. I've already tried to walk on water and I know it doesn't work. So you're going to have to do something. Because if the anti-white, if people don't get that if the anti-whites call no white guilt evil and immoral, then that means the inverse is moral and good. And the inverse means that you average white people out there have to feel guilt. Thank you for revealing that, Querto. Thank you for revealing that to every person who reads. And every time this takes place, everybody is going to be reading it and they're going to be coming to the same conclusions. Every person, no matter how old or delirious or on the drugs that they are on, the pharmaceutical drugs they're on, or maybe tripping on something else that they just got a shot of or whatever it is, they're going to say, whoa, whoa, evil is not having white guilt? Evil is not having white. Did I read that right? Let me go back. Let me go back and read that again. Because is evil having no white guilt? Then good means having white guilt. Well, screw this Querto and these other anti-whites. I'm not going to have any white guilt. I've been working and paying my taxes my whole life, and who knows? Maybe the particular white person that we are visualizing right now has a non-white in the family. Maybe they adopted a non-white children. Maybe they've participated in non-white endeavors to improve the lives of non-white people, and then they're saying, screw that. I'm not going to be a part of any of that. I'm going to oppose these people. Who are these nowhiteguilt.org people? I'm going to side with them. Thank you, Querto. And God for all of the rest of them that just out there who just they can't get it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. You're going to have to just maybe do the noogie thing where you rub on the head, whatever you got to do to get them to understand. Because I can only make it so clear. I can only have so many victories, so clear. This is so ridiculous. I look over here and I see, the number of our champions is absolutely infinitesimal compared to these other channels you go to where they doom document, doom dissect, or they claim to have some sort of voting angle, or and they've got thousands and thousands and thousands pushing this feckless, ineffective garbage. Dear God in heaven, how many times do we have to succeed in the anti-whites' own words before folks catch on? Please rip the clouds apart. How much more obvious can it get? She has to actually read the talentless typist typing away. Cat urine stench probably fumigating the house. She's probably delirious on it as she types away. And cats are wonderful animals. And she's typing, but anti-whites aren't. She's typing away and she's, well, you know what? That doesn't look very good. I'm going to throw in, wasn't there some kind of swastika somewhere? Wasn't there somebody being a villain somewhere nearby? Oh yeah, Boulder Creek, year ago, maybe 2 years ago, or whatever it was. Oh yeah, that did take place. Well, I'll just toss that in here. So to try to make my argument strong. Longtime Capitola resident Ruby Perry Swick said she was walking toward the Capitola village on February 4th when she found a small piece of white paper decorated with hearts and glitter. This is in the anti-white regime news. This is their works. I want you all to really, this is in their works. Here, this is the, if you're not aware, if you haven't read this often enough, you haven't seen this sort of thing. This is where the talentless typist is becoming a fiction writer and just pure fiction. And they're trying to set up that ominous scene, right? You know, it was dark that night. The howl of the wolf and the coyotes in the distance startled her from her inward contemplation. That's when she came upon the piece of paper with hearts and glitter. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The message on it said, with the hearts and glitter, no white guilt. You know, scare music, wee, 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 scare music. With the hearts and glitter, it said, no white guilt. And included a link to a website. And here's where she has to lie, folks. And this is where you get the smile. This is where you get the big smile. Because the talentless typist, high on cat urine, obviously went to nowhiteguilt.org. And she saw, oh my God, I can't tell people about this website. Oh my God, I'm just going to have to flat out lie about it. She is admitting to us. She is admitting it. And the people who go and they look up No White Guilt, who are wondering, well, what was on that site? The people go and they look up, they're going to find the exact opposite of what she says here. Because she says, a website that embraces white supremacist ideology. Now, what does that tell us about Querto? It tells us that she's anti-white. It tells us that she wants to victimize Western kind. Because the only white people to Querto who are acceptable are anti-white white people, doesn't it? We know everything we need to know about Querto. She took a picture of the paper, ripped it up, and then threw it away. I wonder how many people got to that line and thought, why did she rip it up? It's got hearts and glitter and says no white guilt. She took a picture of the paper, ripped it up, and threw it away. Quote, it worries me that there might be some more of these people than I realized around here, she told Lookout. No white guilt. And now here goes into, I'm just going to skip this for time. She goes into this nonsense about the phrase no white guilt being used in the 1960s. And in California, for different propositions that were put forward in the population. Now, remember, California used to be this nirvanic environment that was everyone in the world wanted to go there. The weather was great. The people were great. There was law and order. Everybody wanted to go there. Now it's hell. Now it's anti-white hell. And at best, they might end up getting Jenner as a governor who will be anti-white in all ways except the economy. Might take away the COVID restrictions. Who knows? But that's where California has gone. And it is getting worse. And white people who are anti-white are fleeing California. White people who are also normal are fleeing California. But the white anti-whites are going to Texas. They're going to Nevada. They're going to these different places. And what are they doing? They're voting anti-white policies into the places they've landed. Typical for scum like that, isn't it? Now, they would destroy a place like locusts and then leave and immediately begin doing what they did from the place they left. Their right to vote in those places should be taken away for maybe a decade so that they can be acclimated to the new environment. You're going to come into this state and you're going to immediately begin voting to destroy this, to remake Texas, Nevada, Arizona, and what was the other state they're moving to? And immediately begin remaking it into California. No, thank you. But California used to be this beautiful place. And this talentless typist with the noxious mephitic aromas, malodorous aroma of cat urine wafting through the air, and other litter box treats wafting through the air, and typing away in her absolute hatred for Western kind and Western. You can feel it's visceral in this. She says, well, the people of California, they tried using the phrase no white guilt back in the 60s and to try to stop some of these propositions and things that anti-whites were bringing forward. I have never heard of no white guilt being used anywhere before. Maybe this is true, just because I researched anti-white and anti-whiteism in the dictionary, the city library, and they weren't there. So it's not impossible that somewhere else somebody tried, hey, we're not going to have white guilt and remake our city into some sort of hellhole for you anti-whites because you think we should have white guilt. It's not impossible. But what they want to say, of course, is that those efforts were evil because those efforts were geared toward those white people maintaining what? The civilization they built, maintaining the norms that they engender, maintaining the businesses and the government entities, the law and order, the way they made those things. And to Cuerto, that's evil. For white people to want to preserve what they have created, that's evil. Let that also be a message to you about how much Cuerto hates white people, about how anti-white this woman is. She is revealing it line after line. All right. So then we go down a little bit more. And then, of course, once again, 2 years ago and now today, the website on the No White Guilt Rocks, and she's doing her very best to not write nowhiteguilt.org, and flyers found here is run by a podcast host and video blogger whose work has been mentioned. Now, okay, I'm going to stop right there. You know very well, as do I, that she has watched my work. She has seen me on video, and one of two things has happened. They're probably both. She vehemently hates me and wants desperately to be in a relationship with me. I mean, that's where, let's just be serious. She vehemently hates me and thinks, oh, God, I'd like to marry him, at least for the night. So while feeling this and hearing what I have to say, look what she then reveals. And then let me ask you again, what direction is the right direction? What direction should we go to recapture our destiny? With the truth that is in our hearts, with love, hope, and redemption, with wanting everyone of all immutable characteristics to help us knock down anti-whiteism before it destroys America and England and Canada and Australia and etc. for all of us? Is that what she wants to reveal? No. She says this. The website is run by a podcast host and video blogger. She's not giving my name. Wonder why. Whose work has been mentioned by former Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizard David Duke. So, do we go with love? Who we really are? Or do we go with a villainy role that merely that allows these anti-white talentless typists to just merely cite the things that these people say? Which direction? Which way, Western man? Which way, Western man? Despite liberal reputation, Köhne not immune to hateful messaging. And she's finger wagging. Everybody bend a knee to Cuerto, finger wagging. Well, if you're white, at least, right? The first time the Black Lives Matter activist, Bella, I'm going to guess that her name is pronounced Bonner, but she could also pronounce it Boner if I were to imagine that there was another vowel. So Boner learned of rocks painted with the words, no white guilt. And she always puts it in quote, no white guilt. So scary. So Boner learned of rocks painted with the words, no white guilt. I'll just stick with Bonner. I don't see another. I mean, my vision, it can go a little wacky, but. So Bonner learned of the rocks painted with the words "No White Guilt" on them was in September, around the time that the Black Surf Club that she helped organize kicked off in Santa Cruz. Well, remember, this is a Black Lives Matter activist, and that is being reported here by this Cuerto report, typed by her. And so this person, what do we know about that? It means that white people are evil, right? Somebody made lives, not value. Who are the people that made? So there's a premise there that if you accept that statement, you are the villain. That's why you can't be in their story. That's why you don't flip it. That's why you don't flip it, right? So this activist, this anti-white activist, translate it so you know what you're talking about. And of course, I am sure there are honest and good-hearted people in the Black Lives Matter movement that just want to do good for Black people and don't want to harm anybody else, and more power to them. But we've seen quite a few who chant other things, say other things, have other posters. And Bella might not be one of them here. Bonner might not be one of them. But she does say that she started this Black Surf Club, I guess, in September. And that's when she heard of the no white guilt. Well, I would think that this Bonner would be good with the no white guilt, right? Because she doesn't want to, right? I guess supposedly she doesn't want to white guilt white people. Isn't that right? Or is she revealing that that's exactly what she wants to do? And they show this picture of her, and she's a lovely, innocent-looking little non-white woman. Is she supposed to be Black? She doesn't look Black to me, but maybe she identifies as Black. Maybe she's another one of those not quite Black, but identifies as. Why is it so many of the leaders in that movement don't look, are not as Black as Black people can be? I mean, why do Black people put up with that, I wonder? But anyhow, maybe she identifies as Black. But she definitely is a polite, inoffensive looking young lady. They make sure to put her picture because she's very innocent looking and wouldn't hurt a fly. She just wants to have the Black surf shop. Cool, good on you. Have your Black surf shop. Do you? I mean, Blacks only, right? I know you would be cool with it being the other direction. We're not. I'm not suggesting that, but that's kind of an interesting position to have, isn't it? We can have, this is the innocent person who is objecting to white people, saying that they don't want to have white guilt, and has the Black surf shop, the Black surf club. That's come on there, Cuerto. You really run off the road here. You really run off the road. All four tires are flat. You stop crying, Cuerto. All the tires are flat. Just stop, call AAA, and some, I don't know, probably men will show up to save you, and they'll probably be white. So it says here that she saw the no white guilt, and around the time the Black surf shop that she helped organize kicked off in Santa Cruz. The group of surfers had gathered for a photo to commemorate the day. Later that week, Bonner received a message alerting her to pictures and video of multiple rocks with the no white guilt message in the same area where the Black surfers had taken their photos. Wow. Of course, then immediately Bonner said, yeah, that's cool. White people shouldn't have white guilt. Why should they? No, actually, she didn't say that. Actually, she thinks it's some kind of horrifying thing for white people to not want to have white guilt. Again, revealing. God, if what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? Seriously. Can I have some lightning? The person who sent the message had been walking on East Cliff Drive, collecting the rocks and throwing them in the trash, Bonner said. So some vicious anti-white was walking along, collecting these works of art so that white people won't find them, and then decide, I don't want to have any white guilt. What are you talking about? This person's, my God, we definitely don't want white people seeing this. And then this person reached out to this Bonner, knowing that she helped to organize the Black Surfer Club, just for the non-white people, just the Black non-white people. And nothing odd about that at all in their claims about wanting everything to just be equal. And maybe they're lying. And then said, wow, I found some. So no evidence. Who is this person that was doing this? No evidence that these were placed where there were surfers. And even if they were placed where they had their group photo on their inaugural day, how would the person placing these beautiful works of art even know that? How would the person even know? But of course, the talentless typist, accidentally, oh boy, I won't make that joke. I won't make that joke. But the talentless typist Cuerto is really reaching here, and white readers are going to be able to tell. They're really going to be able to tell. She says, months later, Bonner saw a rock for herself. Things are getting bad in Santa Cruz, I can tell you. I mean, wow. Probably on the verge of just disappearing from reality. She is also aware of sightings. Now, you'll have to bear with me because I didn't get an opportunity to go through this. I just skimmed it. This is comical. This is absolutely self-parodic. It is ridiculous. I mean, I really feel like, let me make sure I can touch the mic and not actually throw electric. God might. Okay, I gotta do this just right. I gotta do justice to the talentless typist that we're discussing here. Where did my article go? Okay, here we go. So, get this. Months later, Bonner saw a rock for herself. She is also aware of sightings around Pleasure Point and Eastside Santa Cruz. The Santa Cruz Police Department said in an email statement that no such incidents have been reported to the agency. But, quote, if you really look, they're around. They'll be in the landscaping, Bonner said. This is so terrifying. My skin is crawling with fear. I'm about to crawl out of my skin. I might turn inside out. Who knows what's going to happen with this? I am absolutely terrified that white people don't want to have white guilt. Hateful speech. And if you could really see this little girl, Bonner, it's sad. You should be, Bonner, you should be a normal person. Stop hating white people. Come on. Stop hating white people. Stand with us. Stand against anti-whiteism. White people should not have to feel white guilt. Stop it. And maybe stop pretending also that you're black. Stop. Although maybe you are black. I don't know. She goes on to say here, hateful speech in Santa Cruz isn't new to Bonner. Oh, no. I'm sure Bonner, as part of the BLM movement, has many examples. She got her start as an activist organizer in 2011 after a series of racist graffiti incidents at Soquel High School, where she was a sophomore. So she has been active as an anti-white activist since being a sophomore in high school. Now, to see white supremacist messages on rocks so close to where she and other surfers gathered, is disconcerting. Sometimes black surf club members get weird looks. Just for being in the water, she said. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got to pull it together. This is really challenging. Cuerto, boy, you and Bonner are quite the team, I must say. You and Bonner are quite the team. Quote, sometimes it's just really sad to realize how deep the anti-blackness goes. I mean, white people don't want to have white guilt. Continuing with her quote, they really don't want to see joy. She said, most times I'm like, just let us be. Oh. Okay. Propaganda on the rise, both nationally and statewide. Propaganda is a common tactic used by hate groups to, quote, maximize media and online attention while limiting the risk of individual exposure, negative media coverage, and arrests and public backlash that often accompany more public events, close quote, according to the Anti-Defamation League Center on Extremism. You know what I wonder? I want to see how you get those two positions. The people who don't want to feel white guilt have to be in the shadows. How you get that to comport with the anti-white narratives? White people run everything for white people. Come on, ADL, give it a go. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, it couldn't be that you are lying, could it? It couldn't be that you're anti-white, could it? I think it is. The center found a near doubling of white supremacist propaganda nationwide between 2019 and 2020, from 2,724 reported cases in 2019 to 5,125 the following year. So white people saying they don't want to have white guilt, saying you want to go free, hate crime. That increase marked, right now, oh my God, we're running out. I got to get calls. Let me know if you want to talk. You write me, or you're not going to get called. I know Tall Kevin wants to talk. So Kevin, write me so that you're at the top so that you're on there. I can see where you are. I can call you. Let's just jump through this then. The increase marked the highest levels. Okay, yada. The barrage of propaganda, which overwhelmingly featured veiled whites. Okay, more Bravo Sierra. Oh my God, this is just so ridiculous. White supremacist propaganda found at, what is it? You have the two L's in it, but it's Spanish, right? So how do you pronounce that? I don't think you say the L's. Cabrero College, according to Center and Extremism database. Okay, yada. Let's see, groups, efforts, UCLA researchers. There's been especially dramatic uptick in violence. Okay, this is important to read here. Listen to how slimy Cuerto is. She says, there has been, now talking about all of this increase in hate and increase in white supremacy, all these anti-white slurs. She then, for evidence of it, says there has been an increase, an especially dramatic uptick in violence against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in the United States since the start of the pandemic. In the wake of the March 16 murder of 8 people, most of them Asian American women in Atlanta, many AAPI residents of Santa Cruz have reflected on the racism they've endured here. So this is a vile, disgusting, wretched anti-white, this Cuerto. She knows exactly what she knows. It's not white people attacking all those Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. That is disgusting. You are wretched. You are a disgusting anti-white human being. Cuerto, you are disgusting. With all your talentless typing, you know exactly what you're doing there. You know that wasn't white people. Let's see. Let's jump down last summer. Okay. Again, they're talking about, she returns to the swastika, towns over or whatever it is. So when you don't have enough anti-white, these hate hoaxes, then just use the same one repeatedly in the same article. I mean, when you're that talentless at typing, that's what you do. Statewide, there are reports of hateful propaganda to pro-Ku Klux Klan flyers. You mean the government? Have been spotted in Newport Beach following reports that the white supremacist march. Okay, well, this is just all garbage. And let's see, the Capitola police chief, and here's where you have they're going to investigate. But of course, there's nobody to arrest because nobody's done anything illegal that they're saying. It makes people question whether our community is someplace safe to be. Okay, whatever. White people not wanting to have white guilt, if that's causing people to wonder if it's a safe place to be, they are revealing that they're vehemently anti-white. They are the problem then, not the white people who don't want to feel white guilt, the white people who want to go free. They're not the problem. The people who want white people to feel white guilt, they are the problem. I think Cuerto needs an exorcist. That's what I think. I think the demons need to be taken out of her. Maybe down on one of those islands, you know, where they do the thing and they go into the stomach and they pull the chicken entrails out and they blow smoke on you. That's probably what she needs. Let's see. More connections, county. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to return. Maybe more of this is really funny. And maybe I'll send the picture of this Isabella Cuerto to one of our meme merchants, and we're gonna have to maybe make a meme out of her, because she's not ugly, she's not a horrible looking woman by any means. And she wouldn't say the same thing about, I don't know how many fantasies she's had, but she wouldn't say the same thing about me. But you know, I mean, I wouldn't leave her in charge of, you know, after reading this, I wouldn't leave her in charge of I don't know, cleaning toilets or anything like that. I mean, she's really, maybe the litter box she can get to. Hey, let's jump on over really quickly. No, we're going to have a giant celebration. In the name of Cuerto, in the name of Bonner, we are going to do this. First, last, financially gifted $1,000 to White Wellbeing. Everybody, giant raucous round of applause for First Last. I hope he's still with us. He financially gifted $1,000 to White Wellbeing. And I, for him, I'm going to say he's doing it in the names of Cuerto and Bonner. Thank you both. $1,000 US in your names. You two lovely women, you anti-white lovely women, in your name.